Hello, welcome to this video. So in today's video, we are breaking down Tailwind v4 or Tailwind version 4 that was released. It has some breaking changes, more especially with Shadcn and all others. So I just want to show you how to migrate safely or to go back to v3 safely, whichever you want. I've covered everything in this video. So I'm just going to go through what we covered or what we went through in this video. The first thing to note is that even if you never wanted to migrate, you are going to migrate forcefully because Next.js now comes with Tailwind version 4. So when you install Next.js, a new version of Next.js, it comes with Tailwind version 4. And so that means that if you didn't want to still migrate, it would forcefully take you to Next.js version 4. But Shadcn, on the other hand, which we use all the time with Next.js, almost now it is a default that you install Tailwind and then you install Shad. Now Shadcn, on the other hand, by default is using Tailwind v3. They are still working so hard to migrate to v4. So to use Tailwind v4 Shad, you have to use the Canary CLI. So they brought in a new Canary CLI that you're supposed to use if you're using Tailwind version 4. Now, what to tell you, by the way, this Canary CLI is really not really good with me, because that means every time you are going to start a new project, you need to install Shadcn using this command if you are using Tailwind version 4. And to make matters worse, to add all new components, you need to actually add a prefix of Shadcn at Canary, and which is actually not direct. If you go back to Shad and you go to add, let's say, alert, and you go to installation, this is not the command, right? This is not the command. So you might just be actually attracted to install this, but this will install it in version 3. So to use the version 4, what we are going through here is that you need to use the new CLI, which adds it just like this. Okay, so that's what we're just like moving through. So another thing that dark mode remains the same so long as you install the components using the Canary CLI. Then we looked at how to add plugins, for instance, the top typography forms. So we looked at how to add this. Actually, this first brought a lot of issues. Gave us a lot of hard time to configure this, but we configured with v4 how to use all the plugins. We added the Tailwind and also the typography. So if you look at the forms here, for instance, we have the forms are using this one. If you go to home, you see that we have also the typography plugin. Okay, so another thing we covered was the packages, e.g. Uploadthing and Tailwind select. Now we also looked at how to add like the packages. If you go here, you see that actually we have Uploadthing, which is like working. So if I just like this, I can upload. I can also select. So we also talked about how to add in these different packages that we're using, or previously we're adding them in the old way. So you understand the Tailwind now has no this Tailwind into this Tailwind guide. The new one doesn't have the configurations. It comes with no Tailwind config. So we're looking at how do we add in plugins, how do we add in packages using all this without using the config file. So we also looked at some of the things that Tailwind has removed, like the BG opacity and so many others. Okay, so there is also added here some quick reference for you. So I will add this file of summary so you can just get everything we covered. Now the problem is, after looking at all these ones, if you are willing, you will be using this starter template. I will leave the link to this starter template so that you can start with it. But now, if you are not happy using this Shadcn CLI, because this is so much disturbing, because as you go to Shadcn to add in new components, they are not using by default the v4. Okay, so they are still working to stabilize this. It is not yet stable. So meanwhile, I would want to still be using this old version. That means if you are to use this old version of Shadcn, you must be using Tailwind version 3. So how do you use Next.js 15 with Tailwind version 3 again? So I also took you how to install a new Next.js 15 but using the Tailwind v3. So you can see this one uses actually Tailwind version 3. So I will leave all these two starter templates if you want to start with Next.js 15 with v3 so that you can add Shadcn normally, or if you want to use Tailwind Next.js 15 with Tailwind v4 and how to add in all these new packages and all the breaking changes, I will also give you this repo. So thank you so much. Let's dive in. Hello, welcome to this new video. So in today's video, just going to break down migrating to Tailwind v4. So most of my students are having difficult time to migrate to v4. It is breaking everything, more especially Shad. So I'm just going to show you how to compatibly use, and we'll break things together, and I show you to use some of our packages we have been using, like Uploadthing, Shadcn, React, Tailwind Select, and all other packages that we have been using in full stack projects, and how you can migrate it. Another thing, I'm just also going to give my view if it is the right time to migrate, and if you don't want to migrate, how are you going to use Next.js 15, which ships with Tailwind v4? How do you go back to the previous version if you're not comfortable with this one? So at the end of the day, we're just going to come up with two templates, I think, for you to start very fast with either v4 or v3. So let's start by creating a new Next.js project. So I'm just going to go to my folder here, very clean. I'm just going to just open this in the VS Code. I'm just going to go ahead, create a new Next.js project. I'm seeing people starting with Vite. I do not recommend that route if you're just using Next.js. So npm create next app. I'm just going to just say testing, maybe Tailwind v4 next. Okay, just going to create a repo like this one. So let's just see. Okay, so now TypeScript, yes. Now ESLint, these days in most of my projects I've been disabling ESLint because of also of compatibility issues, but just leave it. Then Tailwind, yes. And would you like to code? Okay, just say no. And then this, yes. And table pack, yes. And import alias, so default, just say no. And this is going to go ahead and install this, and it is going to include type Tailwind. Okay, so let's just first look at what version does Next.js actually install. Okay, So you can see it is just downloading Next.js 15.2. Okay. So meanwhile, I'm just going to be taking you through some of the changes, because after installing this, normally what we install next is always Shad. Okay. So if you just go to installation here and you go to Next.js, so you see here they put actually a very good note here, and they're saying update. We have added full support of React 19 and Tailwind v4 in the Canary release. So you can see, first of all, this is a Canary release. So Canary releases are just like something that's still testing, something that is not, like something which is still in the beta. Like they are not yet fully developed it, they are still testing with it. So you can see the docs for Tailwind v4 for more information. So you see this one, if you do init like this is for Tailwind v3, this one you're seeing here. So first of all, that is to say that Shadcn hasn't like really fully migrated their guide to v4. They still know most of the people are still using v3. So specifically, if you want to migrate to using Shadcn v4, Tailwind v4, you need to go to this here. You can see they have Tailwind v4 and they have marked it new. So click on this one and you can see an update on Tailwind v4. And they have added how to use Shadcn UI with Tailwind v4. So they say it's here, Tailwind v4 and React 19. So you can see that they're saying if you are starting a new project with Tailwind v4 and React 19, use the Canary version of the command line. So you can see that now Next.js right now comes with Tailwind v4 and React 19. If you just look at this, so this is exactly what they are talking about. If you're using v4 and React 19, which is exactly here, like you see we have Next 15, React 19, and also Tailwind v4. So just firstly enter this. I'm just going to say here Tailwind cd into Tailwind v4 next. So I'm just going to say code.-r to open it. Okay, so now I'm just going to see here, start by running pnpm dev. So pnpm dev. Okay, so you can see here that it has started. Let's just go to here. I'm just going to add localhost 3000. And I want to just see what. Okay, so this here is the normal Next.js. So let's first look at the changes that have been made. So in the Tailwind v4, the first thing they took, they call it 0config. So we don't have Tailwind config file. Okay, if you look at the previous projects of Next.js and Tailwind, you would see a post CSS config and you also see a Tailwind config file. But right now, we don't have them. We have only post CSS config file. Now I'm just going to open here a previous project. Let me just get one of my projects and okay, I guess I get that's like maybe just the employee portal here. So if you open any project of Next.js right now at the previous version and you look at here, you see two files, post css config.mjs and tailwind config.ts. So if you just look at the new version, we have only post css config.mjs. So everything has been moved to the global.css. And if you look at the global.css, we no longer have these three files. That is the first thing you can look at. So if I just go back and I show you in this one, I show you to where we have global.css, and you look on top here, you said we have at base, at components, and at utilities. So in this one, we have just only at Tailwind CSS. So everything comes when it is baked in. You don't need to import those ones. So they are bringing this new at theme. So for instance, if you want to specify anything, you have to do it from here. Okay, so just keep it simple. We're just going to focus on what we want to achieve. So of course the thing is just using the things you have been using right away and seeing this. So what I'm just going to do is look at the Tailwind, the old project. I'm just going to try to do everything that was done in this Tailwind config. So if you look at the Tailwind config, is really a busy file here. Okay, so the first thing I was wondering is how to migrate all these things. Okay, so I'm just going to be migrating slowly, things like Uploadthing and things also like this React Tailwind select. That's what all my students were having issues with. So I just want to simply go ahead and so I'm just going to go ahead and make here these things, the ones we want to look at. I'm just going to start. Let me just go back here. So I'm just going to add here in this file here the things we are going to do. Maybe I just recall. Do I just say readme here? Let me just see the things we are just going to do. So let's start. Let's start by saying one. We just want to move the plugins. So the plugins we normally have, the plugins like one is the one for animations, which normally comes with Shad. So first we're just going to add the Shad. We see what is going to add for us. So just going to look at Shadcn. After that, we're just going to look at plugins, and then after that just going to look at some packages. And so here just going to look at, for instance, Uploadthing and Tailwind select. Okay, Tailwind select. And in the plugins, we're just going to look at e.g. typography and forms. Okay, then after that, then we're just going to look at some removed styles that and utilities, the way they changed them. So this is going to help us guide us in some of the things, and we just like totally move and we see how to add everything. So just like by adding Shadcn. So I'm just going to stop the project and just go ahead and add Shad. So as we said, from the Shad documentation, from this Tailwind v4 here, we need to use, instead you look at so they say here, first of all, they according to me, Shadcn is not yet ready to move, but they have actually tried their level best. I think Shad is trying his level best, because if you look here, it's like, what's new? The CLI can now utilize projects in Tailwind v4, full support for the theme directive, all components related for Tailwind. They dropped the toast component. They brought in data slots. The buttons are now using default. Just going to look at how to fix this. We are duplicating the default style. New projects will use New York. Okay, so you can say, note, this is non-breaking. Existing apps with Tailwind v3 and React 18 will still work when you add new components. They will still be in v3 and React until you upgrade. So, and if you just like looking here, they say what's coming next. They are still working on to these ones, and this is a big one. For instance, migrating colors to OKLSC. It even does, how do they spell this? OKLH, OKLSCH. What is that? So they brought in the new palette of colors, which uses OKLSCH, or this instead of the RGB. They dropped RGB to this because this one covers a wide range of colors. So it's still working on animations and these ones. So already that tells you that this Canary version doesn't have or doesn't support everything that Shad offers. Okay, so he's trying to do some things. Take a look at the test components if you find any bugs. So they're still really testing and trying to move to v4. So first of all, if you are still using v3, that's why I'm going to hesitate to move to v4 until this is things like after like 1 month or 2 months. I'm very sure everything is going to be stabilized. Most packages would have moved. So don't rush to move to v4, but I'm here to guide you. If you already want to do v4, how do you safely migrate to v4? So first of all, we are going to use this one. Okay, so you can see start a new project with Tailwind v4. You can see here they have here you can just like try this. The only thing I'm just going to do is running this pnpm dlx Shadcn init. You can see here init Shadcn to create this. So just copy this. Okay, and you can see now the command line changes. Instead of just like it is just using the Canary everywhere. So just going to come here and let's add Shad. So here we are starting with installing Shad. Okay, so here installing Shad. So just going to go ahead and just do this. So we are now using the Canary, this Shadcn Canary. So just like go ahead and use that and see what is going to give us. And meanwhile, I just want to add in a button afterwards. So I'm just going to copy this to add in a button. Okay, so those who use Vite, that's why you can just go that route. I'm not using Vite anywhere. I'm a fan of Next.js all over the place. So there are some things that were removed. Upgrade your project. So I'll just go and say one major advantage of using Shadcn is the code end up with exactly what you'd written yourself. There's no hidden abstractions. So there is a guide here updating your CSS. So you can see, for instance, these changes to these. Okay, just going to look at that in a second, but let's just like go ahead and here. So base style, I'm just going to go with I don't know, with neutral. Just like leave this. So it's just going ahead, just like updating glob.css and installing all the necessary packages. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and look at these. So you can see at layer base, instead they dropped this layer thing. Now we're using a theme. So you can see, instead of just like defining this background color like this, you go ahead and define it like this. Oh, I know you still use at layer. I think you define in the root, these are variables, and then this is how you use the variables using the add theme. This works, but to make it easier to work with colors and other variables, we need to move HS wrappers to use the theme inline. And here how to do it. So first of all, you see move route and dot dark. And by the way, I'm just going to also work on the dark mode. So after this, after Shad, we're just going to go ahead install Shad. So you're just going to have also dark mode. You see how do we add dark mode? Does everything still work the way it's supposed to? Okay, so before I do anything, after installing Shadcn, to test that everything is okay, let's first see what has changed. Okay, so first of all, you can see that it added in the plugin, and this is how we add in plugins. So just going to have this to add in the plugin. So this is how we add in the plugins using @plugin directive. And now you can see here it defined, for instance, the fonts, and then they went ahead and they're using, for instance, OKLH. So this OKLH is the one that they changed the colors to this one. So they have moved all the colors for us. Okay, and then they have a theme inline, so you can see things really change, and then like that. So let's just go ahead and add a button and see if everything still works fine. So we're just going to add PM. So remember, we're using the v4. So if you are going to add a button, you need to use this canary. So everything is just going to be prefixing it with the canary, which for me, that one is already like a turn off, like this, because in the future this is going to update and stabilize. So I don't think like the project, maybe they might just also again change some things. Okay, so I have here this. Now the button has been added in the components UI button. So by default, they say the buttons are not having the cursor pointer. I just want to confirm that. So I'm just going to go inside the page. I'm just going to go ahead and remove everything from the page. Okay, just like this. I'm just going to use flex.items center dot justify center and dot mean height of screen. Okay, so inside here, I'm just going to add in a button. So here, button. I'm just going to add just say add to cart. Okay, so let's go ahead and see this. PM dev. So just say p npm dev. So I'm just going here and we already have our project here actually. So let's just like reload this. Okay, so you can see the button is in the center, but as they said, it doesn't have this. Okay, so there are two ways to fix this. Okay, there are two ways to fix this. I guess you could just like go to the actual button like I could just go to the actual button here and I manually add cursor pointer. So to the default here, where we have this default, or maybe in fact on these ones here, the CV variants, these ones here, I could just like add a cursor pointer. Here I don't think we have like this, but I could just say cursor. I don't know if that's like, let's first go to this one to get some. So if I added class name here, and I added cursor pointer, okay, just like this, I think this would work. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see it works. So but we could just like move this. Okay, we could just like move this to the this button here like this, so that the default one comes with the cursor pointer, I believe. So just going to refresh, so you can see like it still has. The problem is, if I do that now, I would have fixed all the buttons that can for these ones for Shadcn. The problem is if I create my own button. So if I just come and I create my own button like this, which we normally do, sorry, I'm just going to add this one and just say buy now. Okay, so if I just like do buy now, so previously this used to come, this give like a gap here, a gap of 4. Okay, so if I just like come here and I say like the buy now has no this. Okay, so if you just go to the Tailwind docs here, we can just now search, for instance, I don't know, the button or something. No, not the button. You could just like search the migration guide. This is why they talk about that. So migration. The upgrade guide, I don't know if you just like this is the one. Okay, so there are some things which have been removed on this upgrade guide, and button was one of them. Okay, I don't know if I can just like scroll. Yes, not here. Yes, I think this is the one. So you can see buttons, it is here. Buttons use the default cursor. Buttons are now use cursor default instead of cursor pointer to match the default browser behavior. If you'd like to continue using cursor pointer by default, add these base styles to your CSS. So you need to go ahead and add this in the base. So simply copy this, and so I think this is a better solution. So just go back here, and I think we just need to copy the whole thing, paste thing. So you could just go ahead and add these. I don't know the which good place to add this. Okay, the base is actually there at layer base. So just copy this. So inside here, I'm just going to go ahead and add the button. So here, add for our buttons. So the buttons now are going to come when they have cursor pointer. So let's go back. So now you can see now they have the default behavior. Okay, nice. So we can just like have the default behavior back. So just go ahead and add in some other components of Shad to give you a feeling of how the components will be added. So if you just go to components, scroll down here, let's say we're just trying to add in which one, like maybe a card. This one has a lot of things. Maybe an accordion. Let's say you want to add in this accordion, right? So if you just go to installation here right now, so now you see that this is not using, this is for Tailwind v3, because if you remember how we added the component, you're supposed to use the canary. Okay, you're supposed to use the canary if you're going to add in components. Remember that, otherwise they will not work, right? So yeah, I'm just going to open this, right click on Tailwind v4. So I just want to remind you that this is how we add in a component using the other thing. So this is how you add DLX Shadcn at Canary, then add something. So instead of just using direct this, it is not Shadcn at latest, it is at Canary. So you have to copy this, go add this, just remove this, let me paste. So instead you have to change this from latest to Canary, just like this. So this is the prefix you need to do for all the new components that you're going to be adding. You need to prefix them with DLX Shadcn at Canary. I am very sure that is so in the Tailwind what we have seen. I'm just going to go here in the MDX here, wait, with the plugin, starting with installing Shad. So the first thing is Next.js comes with Tailwind v4. Okay, so for Shadcn, there are some things you have to take note. One is that Tailwind, Shadcn is by default using Tailwind v3 so far. So to use Tailwind v4 with Shad, okay, remember to use the Canary CLI. Okay, so this is just like to add it here for you. I'm just going to add this command for purposes of not forgetting. So this is how you initiate it here. So initialize using this. Then to add new components, I'm just going to drop this. So to add new components, so here to add new Shadcn components, stick to the Canary CLI. So I'm also just going to go ahead and add for you an example here. They just added for us this. So this is supposed to use to stick to this. Okay, That's something to note. So if I just go back to the page, you can just say flex core. Okay, just to add here, and I'm just going to just say dot padding y04. I'm just going to go ahead and add here the accordion. Okay, accordion, just like this. How do they use accordion? Do I still know how to use accordion? Code. Oh, how am I using accordion? I'm just going to use the accordion just like this. Sorry guys. So I'm just going to go ahead, copy the code. So copy this. Okay, just go to the accordion here like this, and then we can just like make all these imports on top. So the only difference is on the installation, how you're installing them. Okay, just remove this. Okay, so nice. So I guess this one must be in. We didn't give it max width, but nice. So you see, everything is still okay. And we're using the v4. Great. So we're just done with Shadcn. This is how you add in the components using the new CLI. I think that one I'm very clear. So let's go ahead and add dark mode. And we see if the dark mode is still functioning very nicely. So I'm just going to go here, still on Shad, and just go to dark mode, Next.js, and we start by adding the next themes. So just add this. Let's go ahead and add this. Next themes. And then create a theme provider as usual. So just go ahead and components and create theme provider. Okay, so in the components, let's create the theme provider. So okay, just going to create new file, theme provider .tsx, and just going to go ahead and add in this. So this one has to be use client. So wrap the theme provider to your layout. So just go in the layout and wrap the children with the theme provider. So just go to the layout down here. So just go where is children, wrap it in the theme provider, and let's import the theme provider. Just like this, and the default, they're making it system. You could just come here and see the default, you make it, I think, like light or dark, I don't know. But just like leave it to system. If someone is already in dark mode, it remains in dark mode. And finally is add the mode toggle. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Okay. So I'm just going to go into components and I just add mode toggle .tsx. And just add this. So the first thing is we need this UI drop down component. We already have the button, So just add this component. You remember how we add the component, so we need the drop down component. So I'll just go here, search for the drop down, and just go to installation, copy this. So you know very well we cannot use at latest, we need to use, so just like sorry, so just add, so just simply need to use here, you can use at Canary, just like this, to make sure that everything is compatible. Please stick to the Shadcn Canary, because if you add this one, it might work or might not. It might just have like some issues because of the changes that they brought in the Tailwind v4. So to make sure that everything works, Shadcn brought this new one. Okay, so everything right now is fixed. We can just go maybe take this to the layout right now, since we don't have yet. Maybe just go and put it in the page. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add it with these buttons, the mode toggle, just like this. So let's go back and see if everything is already working. So we have it here, dark, and then light. So everything is working as planned. So that the dark mode is covered, there is no anything that is changing, just add the way it's supposed to actually. So let me just go to our readme. So on the dark mode, simply, so I'm just going to just say here, simply follow the Shadcn guide to implement it. Okay, and then another thing, remember always to add new components using the Canary CLI. Okay. Okay, so yes, I go to our plugins. So normally what we normally just do for forms, I'm just going to, I guess, like go to a new page. I'm just going to create a new page here, call it forms. We'll just say created a file. So instead, I'm just going to say forms / page.tsx rfc. So this is h2. I'm just going to say forms. Okay, so normally here when you want to know that the forms that they have problems, so we can just say go first like on Flowbyte. I know most of my most of you, I know some of you use Flowbyte for the forms. So you can just like first go here and you get the Flowbyte like forms or something. So you just say here, if I'm just going to put in a card here. So there is a card which has a form in it. So here card with form inputs, this one is what I normally just like try to test on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Just look at how the normal forms would behave. So just go ahead and put this card here. So maybe we just like add a max width. I don't know, maybe it comes with a max width. Just like simply put it there. Of course, the first thing, change the class to class name, Ctrl A and Ctrl H. Just going to say class name equal to, so replace everything here. Okay, so then for the inputs, also change these 4 to HTML4. So Control F, Control H. I'm just going to say change this to HTML4, just like this. Okay, so we don't have any errors. So I just want to look at how this one looks like in the first place. Go to /forms. Okay, so this we can just like put this. I like this. Look at this error here. Really nice. Next.js guys, whoever brought Next.js for us did something. So you just like add these, maybe to add these. If one add these in the center, I think we could just like add MX, simply MX auto here, I guess. Yeah. So basically, the styles, if you just look at them right now, this is not how it looks, but basically how they are looking right now is not too bad the way you expected. The actual form doesn't look like this actually. If you just go to the actual one and clicking it, this is how it looks, right? So here it actually looks good, like really the default one. I really love it. But let's just like try to add Tailwind forms. We see if it's going to fix this, like to make them blue. Just adding only Tailwind forms. And they changed a lot of things to do with focus and blah blah, all those ones. But I'm just going to go ahead and try to add the plugin for the Tailwind forms, and we see how it works. So first, just go Tailwind forms. So you just say Tailwind form, just go to this GitHub Tailwind form. That's the best place. And you know, this is done by Tailwind Labs, but they actually updated. They haven't updated. You see, they are still using the old Tailwind config. So just copy this and just go here and let's add it. So just go ahead and change this to PNPM, just like that. And now to add this plugin, just simply just say add Tailwind, just copy this, the name of the plugin, which is add Tailwind forms. So to add this now is simply go to global.css, and on top here where they have at plugin, so we just do the same thing, at plugin, and then we put the name of the plugin without the at. So just the name like this, at plugin Tailwind forms. I want to see if there is any change with that. So already we have a problem. I like this Next.js, they are blagging, guys. This can't be like this, guys. Wow, oh my goodness, this looks so good. I just need to move to this new version of Next.js. But basically the thing here in the global, that the .form is not exported from the package blah blah. So you can see here form is not exported. Okay, maybe to fix this, maybe we restart the server. I don't know. Let's just first restart, just like this. Build again. Sometimes this is I have to do it with double pack, I guess. So they're saying that the path dot forms, and this is in app.global.css, the what we just added. Do we add just like an array of them if there are many, or do we just keep on saying at plugin? That is also a question. Okay, I'm just going to refresh, see if the error is gone. I'm just going to wait and see. Okay, so we still have the same issue with the global and the package path. It just always just says the package path, blah blah. So I don't know if, for instance, we add these in an array. Does that what they mean? We can do that. I don't know. Is this acceptable? Just like gain rebuild. Okay. Okay, we still have the same issue. Now this time is a can't resolve Tailwind animate, Tailwind forms. So like they cannot understand this. Can't resolve Tailwind. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, so let me first go back one step to this. So I just like first comment the Tailwind form plugin. Without it, we see. Okay, so basically Tailwind form is the one which is bringing the problem. Okay, so I just want to say I comment animate and I add Tailwind forms alone. Okay, I just want to see what happens. Okay, so itself like it looks like the installation of the Tailwind itself, if you just go here, is that it has something to do with the path. .forms is not exported from the package. So if you just look, is actually saying in the node modules Tailwind CSS. See then this. So the forms. So normally if you just go to Tailwind UI to like forms, so use these Tailwind sign-in and registration components as the foundation, blah blah. Now in the earlier days they used to show you how to use the Tailwind forms within these ones. Let me first go back a second. I'm just going to click on forms, like here, React code. Normally they would show you how to use the Tailwind plugin. Now, does it mean that right now you don't need the Tailwind plugin? Because accordingly here, they're not talking about it anywhere. So what we'll do is I would go to this and let's search for forms. Okay. Okay. And here they just don't actually just like, they're just like talking about the normal things. They're just like talking about the normal things. They're not talking about this here. Okay, I'm just going to search again for the plugin. Okay, so they brought in this at plugin. So for instance, typography here. At plugin typography. I don't know. That's the only one they talked about. Like if I have like many, how do I add them? Tailwind CSS forms. Okay, so if you just, I think they're saying if, for instance, you go to node modules, there is nowhere they have the Tailwind forms. That's what I think the error is indicating, that node modules Tailwind CSS is not exported from the package, the Tailwind forms. Okay, so just like look at, for instance, animate. Does how did they add the animate package? So Tailwind CSS. So I can see there is Tailwind CSS here, then forms. Okay. If you just go back to the global.css, let's first look at this at Tailwind CSS animate. I'm just going to go ahead and search it here. Tailwind animate plugin. Okay, I would just want to see how this animate plugin so if you compare it with Tailwind forms, Tailwind form, here I just want to see how. So you see, this one was a Tailwind CSS slash form. Okay, but then this one is Tailwind CSS animate. So there is how they are different. They even the names. So we cannot just say, for instance, Tailwind like forms like this. That can't work, right? It cannot. So I would use maybe the old technique. I don't know if the old technique would work. I'm just going to refresh. This can't resolve now. Actually, it's like a different name. So we already have a problem with Tailwind forms, but they didn't actually talk about that anywhere. Okay, You could just also come and say Tailwind, maybe just see if there is Tailwind forms in Tailwind v4. So there is also nowhere they just like quickly talking about how to add plugins. Okay, so let's just look at the existing solutions. You know, you're not the only one who might be having the same problems. Okay, so I'm thinking, how do you official plugin with no config file? So should be a Tailwind. Don't forget add the art. Thank you, Adam. So I can't install npm r10 plugin before I get this error, blah blah. So here it says add plugin. So you're saying here everything that is in the app.css, and just put this add plugin at. So you need to, I think we need to add the at. So here, like we need to add this at, because that's the only thing I'm seeing different here. Then you can just go ahead and just give the primary color here. So if you just go back, working, nice. Just the at. That's really like what? But actually, if you just look at it, is at. The name of the plugin itself has the at. It's really you couldn't just like figure that out. You see, so you just search online and yeah. So just add the at and that's it. And then see this one. The plugins here, they're just like, okay, so you can see add plugin. So Tailwind CSS, then we just add like for this typography. The dark mode remains exactly the same. You don't need, I guess, to do anything else there. So this is how you add the this took us like seriously a while. So you can just also go ahead and add in the typography class. So they just add also the typography. Tailwind typography. So just go here to this typography. So you would also install it like this. So let me just go ahead and install this. Okay, just change this to pnpm. Okay, so let's just go ahead and install the typography. So then now here, and okay, this is nice. This is nice. You can see that the typography plugin has the migration guide. After installing this, then add the plugin to your style.css file, which is really, really nice. This one is really good. So we simply add this file now, copy. So this one has the migration guide already baked into it. So we can also bring back the animate. Okay, you have to install it. It doesn't come really installed. So we have added the typography. So to check this, I think we could just copy some of the thing here like this, and let's go to the page, and then let's add in like maybe below the accordion here. could just like add in this. Let's change this to class name. So you just simply have to use this prose. This prose is one which comes with the predefined styles for some things like an article and that. So if you don't want to style things, okay, so you can see here this has this predefined for you. If you don't want, you can just like put this. We have one issue though. This must be something to do with hydration due to so this has to do with the dark mode shift. So shifting from the that, so we can just like go back to Shadcn where we have the dark mode. Then Next.js. So here where they added this to here, they need to add the suppress. We need to go ahead and add suppress hydration, so like this. So we can just go to the layout and maybe just add it here. Okay, I'm not sure if this is going to take it away, but yeah, it's gone. Okay, so nice, we are doing so good. So the plugins, I'm just going to go ahead in this. I'm just going to go to this, the plugins here. Just going to add some notes that please install the plugins, and then from their official packages, and then include them in your global.css, the word include. So just include them in your global.css using the add plugin. Okay, yeah, e.g. so you can say here e.g. add plugin. So this, we just add this in the code. So just say add plugin, and then we just add, for instance, the add Tailwind forms, just like that. So yeah, so let's just go ahead now. We move to packages, like for instance Uploadthing and the Tailwind select. So let's start with the Uploadthing. So I'm just going to add another thing here where we have like the packages. So I'm just going to say here, I don't know if the word packages is a reserved keyword, I don't know. Page.tsx. We need to create a simple navigation. I'm just going to create a simple navigation here, since we have a lot of pages now. Navbar.tsx rfc navbar, and just going to have the header. Let me just add some links. Link from next link, just like this. Just going to have home href slash. So just like have the home, we have the forms, and then we have the packages, okay, packages, and just going to go here in the class and just going to say flex items center, okay, gap of like this. Let's go here in the layout. I'm just going to add this on top here, nav bar, just like that. Okay, it doesn't need to have to be fancy in any way, so just go to packages page. Okay, so we haven't done anything in this. Okay, we don't need this project, I guess. So just go to packages and just say RFC. So here h2 of packages. Okay, so we have this. So just go see, for instance, how do we add Uploadthing. So to add Uploadthing, if you just go to Uploadthing and you click on documentation, and then you go to get started, and then you just go to the installation. So the first thing is install here the package pnpm. So I will just go ahead and install this. Just from here, let's clear everything. pnpm. Oh, I thought we got the one for pnpm. Copy this. Okay, so just add this. Go ahead and get a token, so you can just go ahead and go back to the dashboard to get the token. So these projects right now, they have this Uploadthing token. Just copy and create the .env, and then just like add the token. So we have also added the token, so continue with the installation. Uploadthing token, we have added it. So you say if you don't already have the Uploadthing, so create. Okay, so this is, we already have it. So the only thing is to create this API. So I'm just going to go ahead and create this file. So you can just go in the app and create a new file, this, and then in that just simply copy this, add it here. Okay, so there's some things you can just like remove, like this auth thing here is not really required. Then just move to, so create a new API. Okay, we already have this Uploadthing core, so now we need just add Uploadthing route. So in this Uploadthing, just simply put route.ts, and that's it. Just create the Uploadthing component. So in the utils Uploadthing, so you can just copy this, go to utils Uploadthing ts, so utils, so you can just like put them in the lib depending. Just going to add this as Uploadthing thing.ts and just add this. So just import the file router like this. Next, now this is where the things actually get nice, because in the v3 we're wrapping this whole config file with this with UT. So with Tailwind v4 now, just simply add at import. So just add these two lines now, just like this. So just go to Tailwind, so you can see everything. They brought it back to CSS. I don't know why, but that's it. So just add it on top here, Tailwind, Uploadthing v4, and that's it. Just remove this. Okay, so that's good. So that's the only thing. 2 lines, I think like it is much better than this in my thinking. In the Tailwind v4, they have made it more simpler. So you can learn more about the theme helpers and the theming page. So amount the button and use it. So if you want use it in any page, we can just go ahead and do this. Okay. So for instance, we can go and use this. So you can just create a component in the components and just say Uploadthing button, Uploadthing, maybe custom button.tsx. And so wait, just add RFC, and then inside here you can just like paste this. Okay, so just go ahead and get the Uploadthing button from the lib. Make sure it is from the lib. Okay, so nice. So now there is one setting that I always like to put if you just continue improving SSR. So you can just go in the layout, and finally we add this plugin again. So just go to the layout, and just after or before here we can just add this. So import this, and then other files like file router, so we can also just import this extra config and also the file router like that. That is the final thing you need to do. Yeah, you are done. So let's go ahead and use the get this component we created, Uploadthing custom button. So if we just go to packages page, now down here, you can just say Uploadthing custom button, just like this. Okay, so make sure that you have in this, make sure that on top here you have the use client. Okay, so the button is here, so we can just like go ahead and test with the upload, and maybe we put the uploaded image. Okay, so you can see we can have some state here. Just say here const image URL is set to image, set image URL, just like this is use state. So you can just like use state, keep this empty, and we can just like on top here we have the next image. Okay, so I'm just going to add the next image with a source. Let's get like a dummy image to use right now. Just go in my downloads. Just need to get any image here that doesn't really necessarily matter right now. Just get any. Just going to copy this, bring it to our Fabric, just like this. Just going to have this one as maybe bg, and then inside here I'm just going to say slash bg, add the alt. So alt, this is hero image. Let's give it some width. So just say 800 maybe by, okay, you could just like go ahead and look at the actual dimensions of this. 826 by 5, so just like 2 crores. Here 8 5, I don't know, like any can just work. And then we can just like give it a class name here of maybe, I don't know, let's just like give it width of a half. I don't know what even that means, but I just want to see some image somewhere. Okay, so for some reason this the bg.png. Okay, so we have the image. So what I want is I upload and then it gets here. So on upload complete, so here where we have this, I just want to set image URL. I just want to set it to res dot. So this is a map, so just going to access an array, then dot. So there are a lot of things here. I can see they removed the URL. Okay, so you can just go ahead and first console.log this. Console.log response at 0. So let's go ahead and upload some file and look at the this. Upload this one. Okay, so is uploading. Oh, okay. Okay, upload complete. It gives back here all the files. So they we have the file hash, the key, last name, name, and then server data, and then the size, the image. So it is now on to this one. It is changing these days. So you see, we no longer have the URL, but they just like, I think, oh, the URL is still there actually. Surprisingly, the UFS URL is actually different with this. Like, these are different, but do they give the same thing? Like, let's go to the browser and try to add this. So just enter. Yeah, so this gives it gives it, and also the URL. I think they just left the URL for backward compatibility, because so I don't know now which one to use or which one is better, but you can see that you can use any of these. But when you do dot, you look at dot, you see that they cross the app URL and this. So that means like this one is the best to use. So now we can just say set image URL, and then we just set it to this. So I'm very sure we're just going to get some error. So now we just use this here. Image URL. Now we make sure that the default one is this. right? So this is the default one. Okay, just go ahead and upload a new one. This video one. Okay, so we have this error of an unconfigured image host. Okay, so as usual, just go ahead and right click on this link, and now we can just go ahead and copy this. Okay, copy, and let's take it to next config and just add this. Okay, just remove all these ones. The only thing that you just need is remove search, leave the protocol, and then the host name. Then remove also the path name. There is no end of the path name. The host name, just going to remove this and put star star. So here this is just like to, if you want to allow everything, so you can just like go ahead and put star star just like that. To this is a wildcard just to allow all the HTTPS URLs. So let's just go. This should just like restart the server, I believe. Okay, so it started the server. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, let's just go ahead and upload one more time. Okay, just wait and second. Upload complete. Yeah, so you see it sets this one, so this is good. Okay, so next just want to look at another Tailwind plugin. Sorry, the package. So the Uploadthing has been really well configured. I don't think you will have any issue with this. Let's move to the next one, which is the React Tailwind. So this one comes from my components. So if you just go to docs.thishub here, and you just go to next, and then you go to the reusable components. So you see we're using a lot of reusable components, more so the form select. So the form select, this is how you install it. So we can install it using pnpm. Just going to copy this. Go down here. I'm just going to clear and just install this using pnpm. So now you see the configuration. It was also having the configuration of the Tailwind config. So now we just need to get this from similarly the way we did for, I think, so here in the global.css, the way we did like this. So I'm just going to duplicate at source. So I will duplicate at source, and then I will just add exactly the node modules just like this. I will replace node modules just like this. Dist index.js. I don't know if you just need to still put .mjs, but let's just try to point that way. That. So now we can just create this, and we see if it works. Okay. You're not going to go ahead the whole component. you might just not go to the whole component because it is a huge component. But the only thing I just want to test is I could just go to this package, which is just like Tailwind from select npm. So it is this one. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead just get this because you can't see they tell you this. I'm very sure they haven't migrated, but basically is you can just like import it just like this and create options. So let's go under the packages. So down here, I'm just going to, so I want this to remain server component. So I just go here and I say Tailwind select form, select .tsx. So RFC. So just add these two here on top. Okay. And then you can just like have these options, and then you have the state. Okay. So here you can just have the state. And then we can just also have the handle state. So just have this function handle state. Then we have the select. Down here we have the select. So you can just like import the select, save. This select supposed to come from it is this one. I don't know why property primary color is missing. Okay, so you can just like add primary color to be blue. Okay, nice. So for this one, we can just give this one any, but if you bring this handle change onto, because you see here handle change, if I try to do something like this, value to something console.log value. So if I just want to see this here, you can see that the value has select value. So this one is having select value from also the React. I think they come like from that. I'm not sure if it's supposed to come from this, the types, because these are just like the types. Okay, so you could also just like give this to, I don't know if it's supposed to be also select value or something. Something like this. So now we can just like simply replace back here handle change. So you have something like this. Okay, so we should just go ahead and console.log the value. Let's use this component, Tailwind select. I'm just going to go to package, and then I'm just going to use this Tailwind select. So if you just go back to the page, okay, so make sure you have use client on top. Okay, so scroll down. Okay, let me just like first edit in some sort of like a guarded region. So class name, let's add padding y of 6, and let's give max width of maybe XL MX auto. Just like see if it, yeah. So you can see this is looking great already. I'm just going to give a mean height of 96. Just like to give it really enough space. So you can see we have this working really nicely. So you can see that it is not that hard as I expected. I expect it to be complicated, but just simply add this here. Everything is working so fine. Okay, so that is another for the packages in our readme file here. In these packages, so just go ahead and install the packages, and then just add the package.js files in your global CSS using the @source. Okay, so yeah, then let's go ahead now try some other things, because other things we have just really done them. So this migrates the whole entire file. This other old project, I don't know if I can just like get that project right now. So this marks everything we just I guess need. If I just go to any of these project, then just like open this. So everything that we have in our here, we have migrated the plugins, and all these ones, they will be automatically handled by because all these ones comes from Shad, so they are handling all these. These ones come when they are pre-configured. We have seen how to add these ones already in the CSS. So everything we just need actually is done. So just like move around to try some of the new things that they did. We have already seen how to fix, for instance, the button. So the buttons, they come when they have this, sorry, where is the global? So you see we fixed the button by just going to this and we put back this. So sorry, here, this one. So some few things changed, and I'm just going to quickly go through the guide to run through it so that we see. So just go to upgrade guide. This is the upgrade guide from the v3 to v4 of what changed. So we first did all the things that that we have been using, so that people who are using this is very okay for you to migrate. So Tailwind v4 is a major version, blah blah. So if you want to upgrade your v3 project, you can run this command. Okay, I don't have any project to test with to migrate this. Okay, so for most projects, the upgrade tool will automate the entire migration, including updating the dependencies, migrating your configuration side of CSS, and do everything. The upgrade tool requires Node.js 20, so we recommend running the app in a new branch, then carefully review the diff. So they are just like saying you first really take precaution on this. Okay, so the first thing is we have seen that the post CSS, this file here was also changed. So if you just go to this post CSS, it has now one line, only one line. Previously it had to add the tailwind and the auto prefixer. They removed all this, they replaced this only with this. We're not using Vite. I'm just going to go to Vite. So they brought in the new CLI. So changes from V3. So this is the good one. So they removed all the directive and they replaced them with the Tailwind. We have already seen that one. They duplicated some things. For instance, BG opacity is no longer working. So you do something like this. So let's go ahead and try this out. So I'm just going to create another page here for maybe changes. Changes, and just going to create page .tsx rfc. Okay, so I'm just going to add something like bg. Let's just like first add a grid colors 4, and just going to add some borders here. So let's add gap of 4. Let's also go ahead and add a padding of 8. So I'm just going to say here dot width of 16, dot height of 16, dot rounded full, okay, and just say bg purple 800. Okay, so I just like have 4 of these. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to the nav bar, try to update the link that we have just brought in, changes, here changes. Okay, so if I just go back here and I just say click on changes. Okay, so you see we have these nice stuff here going on in these changes. Okay, so just say we just used to do, for instance, BG opacity. So there used to be this BG opacity, and you see that actually it is no longer existing. So which is really nice. So the BG opacity is gone. So now you have to do BG the way we did this, BG purple, and then if you want to add opacity to this, we just say slash and we say 50%. So this, if you hover this, you can see that it has the OKLH and then it has this the 50% transparent. Okay, so you can see it here is having 50% transparent. So that is a nice update, or I don't know if it's just like a nice update, but it is the BG opacity is gone. And this goes also to the things like ring, opacity, divide, border, placeholder. Another thing that has gone is FlexLink. So if you don't know what FlexLink is, okay, it normally happens when you have two things that one is smaller, another one is bigger, most especially when you have like flex. So instead of using like the flex shrink, I now use shrink, and flex grow use grow. And then another one that is nice is this. So just like try that one. I'm just going to go here and I put a paragraph, rem 100. Okay, so if we just give this class name, so we used to give overflow ellipsis. So if you just go back here, so we have this. Let me just give it some padding y or 4. So we used to just do text ellipsis. So you see overflow ellipsis. So you see overflow. It used to be overflow ellipsis. Let's see. So you see nothing has happened. So let's just do text. Does this supposed to do anything? I don't know if you're supposed to use. Oh, so yet it has text ellipsis, it has text overflow to ellipsis. I don't think I know how to use this, because the one I expected is actually not doing anything. Like to put, like I thought this is putting the dots. How about the clamp? Anyways, I normally use like the clamp. This is line clamp. So line clamp 2. Yeah, it has put this one. I think just because of the padding. I don't know. Yeah, so you can see there is no padding. This works perfectly. Did it mean even the overflow thing refused to work because of that? Text ellipsis. It's supposed to do like one line only. No. Just stick to the line clamp. I don't know how text ellipsis works. Okay, so another one, just like move very fast. Some of them just like minor, so you can see shadows have just like been changed. The one that was SM is now extra small. So they brought these. They added in that the outline, so you can see even on the rounded, they removed rounded, so you cannot just like do rounded, it has to be rounded SM. Then they brought in ring to ring 3 for that. So otherwise everything remains, I think, exactly the same. So how you would want to test, they also changed this space things. How you would want to change is just go to how you have been doing something. Let's say linear gradient. So you just say gradient, for instance. Okay, like here. So you just say come on whatever you want, and then like you simply do that. For instance, they brought in the radial gradients, which I think they are cool. For instance, on my balls, I can give them these radial gradients now. Hey, by the way, they brought in also size. Which means like width and height. So instead of just this, I can just say size 16. If you hover here, you set the width and height. So this replaces width and height. Okay. I don't know, this just like it's not the equivalent, but you say here for RAM 64 pixels. So if I just do size, is also 64 pixels, but they are putting for you width and height. Okay, so if I just go back here now to this, so you can see you have this nice radio thing going on. Okay, so that's how you just do it. You can see you have even all these conics. So simply just go to whatever you want, but I wanted to quickly just give you a nice startup or this. So I'm just going to add this code where you can clone and get started with this. But what if I want to use Next.js 15 but still use v3? So this is going to be the first one here. So I'm just going to, this is like Tailwind v4 with Next 15. Okay, so I'm just going to stop this, close this repo. I'll just create now another one. Okay, so this one was in the learning Tailwind, somewhere Tailwind, yes. So we have, I'm just going to create another repo. This is Tailwind v4 with Next.js 15. So what I want is create another one. So I'm just going to go here, create another repo. So I would want to attempt to use Next.js 15, the new one, but with Tailwind v3 instead. So I'm just going to say npm create next app, and I will just simply just say this one's going to be Tailwind v3 with next. Okay, so you might ask yourself, like, why are we using this one? The reason we're using this one is that you saw how you install Shadcn components. You might be really not willing to do that. The Shadcn hasn't fully migrated. So right now, me personally, I would still be using v3 in my projects until Shadcn stabilizes. Okay, so I'm just going to say, would you like to use Tailwind? Yes. TypeScript, yes. Would you like to use ESLint? So in my projects, for this case, you can say yes, but in my projects, I normally just say no. So Tailwind here, this is like, would you like to use Tailwind? So this is why you say no. Okay, so simply say no, and then here we just say, would you like? So you just say no, yes, yes, and then like this. Okay, so what this means is that it is not going to go ahead and install the Tailwind. So what I would do is I would switch this and go back to v3. Okay, I would go back to v3. I really feel like v3 website was nice. Then I go to the docs. Then I would just go to installation, framework guides, Next.js. So I would now use this guide right now. So after installing, I'm just going to copy this, copy. Oh, it's done. CD into Tailwind v3 code dot minus r. Okay, that is something else. Code dot minus r, just like this. Do you want to say what the heck is that? If I see ls, do we have anything modified here? So just say code dot, don't save. I'm just going to go here and try to install. So this doesn't have anything like Tailwind. If you just go in the global.css, you see they're just using normal CSS. So I would want to move. So with the v3, I'm just going to first install these p npm okay, and then just like do this. So I'm just going to go ahead and run these ones. Okay, so you can see here it created for us Tailwind config and post CSS. So if you check, this is using the old one, and if you so check here what we installed, this must have installed v3. And just go to package.json. Which Tailwind did we install? Yeah, so you can see we installed Tailwind CSS v3. Okay, so we installed v3. So now I have installed this. So just go ahead and copy this configuration template. So you just simply need to replace with this in the content. Just like add this in the content. So go to the Tailwind config, under content, just add this. In fact, you could just now copy your old Tailwind config and now bring it here. Okay, so now this would just give you the way we have been doing it normally. Okay, so add the Tailwind directly to your CSS. So copy this and just go to the global.css, and on top here I'm just going to add this. So you could just actually remove everything if you want. Okay, but just like paste this here on top, and now run dev. That's it. So you can just now copy the hello world. I'm just going to copy this. Let's run p npm dev. I'm just going to go to the page, remove this page style modules. I'm just going to go ahead and one more time do dot flex dot item center dot justify center, just like this. So let's go ahead and see if this one works actually. So go back to this localhost 3000. So I'm just going to, so you see, I'm just going to center this. Just give it a mean height of 96, mean height of like 96. And let me just make this to be text to red 700. So you can see we're still using now, this is Tailwind v3. So this is how you would use Next.js 15. Okay, this is how you would use Next.js 15 with Tailwind v3. So now you can use similarly you can just go ahead and add now Shadcn normally. So if you go back to Shad, you don't need to play around with anything, right? So if you just go back to Shad, you just go to Shadcn installation Next.js. So here I don't even need to think anything else, just simply copy this like this. Okay, then just go ahead and add a button. So just now add a button normally like this. Okay, okay, so install this, the button, And now we can just go ahead and import the button. Let me just go ahead and go to the page and just put below this. I'm just going to put this button, import this from here, and let's go ahead and add like the flex core and space y of 4. So this now, I'm just going to say add to cart. If I just go back here, you see now I have the button with a pointer already. So this is how you go back to Next.js 15 with Tailwind v3. In my opinion, I will be using this route. Okay, I'll be using this route because the Shadcn components using the Canary CLI, I find it a bit skeptical. So I might just simply stick to this one. So I will add both two templates as a starting point. If you want to start with Tailwind v3 with Next.js 15, you'll find those two repos in the description. And thank you for watching this. Please go ahead and like the video, and then we'll just jump in. So thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.